Good afternoon and good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and CoffeeStream number 291. And it's Wednesday, and it's Wednesdays with Skep Day, and we're both alive. Yay!
I'm not dead yet,
Yeah,
for Monty Python.
exactly. How are you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling better. No, I really am feeling better. I do not have all the hearing back in my right ear, but I'm hearing fine finally out of my left ear. So, I felt like I could. I did the broadcast last night, and it was okay. But an hour, we basically quit about 15 minutes after you left,
Oh, okay.
just because I was out of gas.
That's a good thing you had talkers.
Yeah, well, that's why I invite you and Prospero on. Get some alpha talkers on there that yeah, can pick it up, and talkers who are aggressive enough even to crowd out poor irate prostate, but who can talk himself up a stretch too. But anyway, so today's a big day for you.
It is a big day for me because I have some packages sitting beside me.
I say,
And since you guys have been so awesome in contributing to the GoFundMe and donating via Streamlabs and all that, I figured I was gonna do an actual video, but I had to wait for the sun to kind of come at the angle to come through the window to give better lighting, and it just so happens that that would be now. So I figured, hey, why not open them now with you guys live on the air? So I am gonna pull this chair over here so I don't have to keep leaning out of frame. um, I'm gonna open. I'm not gonna show you guys the packaging because it's got the address and shit on it. So, um, but yeah. So I'm opening my box that I have first, which is the shoes that I got, and it's the only time I've paid full price for a pair of shoes and spent over $100. But I figured it's my wedding day, so why the hell not? And they've plastic wrapped this for space launch, apparently.
it's human proof packaging.
Yes, it is. It's very much human proof packaging. Why do they always do that?
They hate you.
Like, they do this to children's toys as well.
Oh.
It's there's nothing worse than Christmas morning. You
You better have a Dremel tool to get in something.
Yeah, Pincalo basically before we open presents now for the kids, he's like, "Wait, let me get my knife."
That's the truth. You need like a utility knife to get some of the things.
I have freed the box from the wrapping.
All right.
So in this box, so here is an example of what I'm wearing on my feet.
Okay. Change the angle. There you go. Good.
It's just a simple shoe.
Very nice, though.
And I purposely got it because it's got memory foam insoles on it, so it'll be easier on my back.
And those are more than $100 for those shoes?
Yeah.
Because there's not very much to them. I mean, if you
No.
think about it, if you were paying by the ounce, that's probably more expensive than cocaine.
You're not wrong. you're not wrong. So that was the full priced item. The important item I got on sale.
Never pay retail.
Never pay full price. That's the one thing my mother always taught me.
That's right.
So I got this dress 50% off because of Black Friday. You guys are going to be the first ones to see it. I haven't actually taken it out. This is a live. Oh, it's double wrapped. That's actually a good thing. So yeah, you guys, we are all going to see this dress together at the same time. Oh wow, is it ever it's a gown, that's for sure. Holy
Holy
shit.
crap. Oh, look at that. Hold that up.
Oh, I think it's upside down. No, it is upside down. Hold
Yeah,
on. There we
there you
go.
go. And pull your hands down a little bit. There you go. Perfect.
So that
Look at that. That looks gorgeous.
and that
That
I
looks
think
really
this is the
expensive.
back.
Really nice.
Yeah.
What does it feel
That
like? Describe how it
it's
feels.
satin.
Oh wow.
So it's a
Wonder it looks wonderful.
satin
It's kind of a midnight
gown.
blue. Uh,
Yeah, it said it was navy, but I
yeah,
like that it's a darker.
it's dark. That is dark. That's so blue. It's nearly black. Of course, I have blue green deficiency, so blues tend to look black to me. But that is just a gorgeous looking dress.
I can't wait to. I'm gonna try it on after the show, of course.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but wow, I'm very happy with that purchase.
Be very happy. You should be very happy. Absolutely.
That dress, I spent $140 on it. It's a $250 dress.
Wow.
Hooray, Black Friday!
I know. I was just going to say that's a deal and a half. That is a gorgeous looking dress. I'm
And
just so happy for you.
and that is all like because of you guys I was able to jump on the sale because my mom and I were freaking out about method of payment
Yeah.
because my mom was supposed to help me buy it and she's like shit they don't take the method of payment I was going to use, but thanks to your guys' donations I had money set aside that I could grab a prepaid credit card and take advantage of the sale and get that dress. So
It's it's really kind of wonderful the way that you're first of all, it's wonderful that people in your viewership uh, came and wanted to help you with that.
yeah.
And it to me it's a wedding gift basically. And but it's also kind of wonderful that your viewership is involved kind of intimately in your wedding that way.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
kind of a not everybody has that relationship with the people who watch them on YouTube. That's I don't know, something really special, pretty wonderful about that.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
It's be happy, guys. Be happy, blind press. And so, anyway,
So there's
the wedding is coming up when
February 1st.
February 1st,
Yeah.
and that's right around the corner.
It is right around the corner. And I'm very excited because my maid of honor and best friend since third grade is actually able to come down and visit this weekend. And it's also her 30th birthday on Friday.
Ah,
And we have not been able to spend either one of our birthdays together since we were teenagers.
so this is going to be big fun.
So this is really we're both really happy. So yay!
Where does your friend live?
Pardon?
Where does your friend live?
She lives. She's 3 hours away from me on the other side of Toronto.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
The you can't get there from here, part of Toronto.
yeah. You better make it a weekend,
Yeah, or have a helicopter.
or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, well, anyway, so exciting things, great personal things for you.
Yes,
Charging into uh, 2020 with a new husband and all two youngsters, and God, just a great life looking ahead of you. How wonderful!
this is. I'm excited.
I wish the world was a better place.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, you're also charging in there with, uh, tiny brain Trudeau as your prime minister. and it, the freak show that is American politics.
Oh my God,
Oh,
I can't believe they actually went ahead and came up with two articles of impeachment.
well, certainly. Why not?
And what was it somebody said in chat yesterday? Article 1, we don't like him. Article 2, we really don't like him.
Well,
We don't like him.
well, that is literally all that is. I mean, obstruction of justice. Come on, you know,
Yeah.
it's not even close. It's an obvious political ploy on the part of the Democrats, and really has nothing behind it, other than a bunch of people's opinions. They think this, they think that, and it doesn't even amount to. It doesn't even rise to the level of hearsay evidence because it's not evidentiary.
No.
So, um,
I don't like I was saying yesterday. I mean, Bill, like at least Bill perjured himself, right? You could get him for that. Over something stupid, but he still perjured himself, right? So you could that's at least impeachable. But
certainly,
this there's nothing.
no,
There is nothing.
you're
I
quite right.
I don't get it. And I don't understand how they think that the American public is like. Do they think that their constituents are just that stupid?
Well, Gunny says that those two articles are bullshit, and they will pay for this when the public votes.
I hope so.
I hope you're right. What I've found is that so many people um, are just they have almost a bovine like stubbornness about sticking to whatever party they identify with.
Yeah.
I know people who are extremely intelligent who are on the side of Adam Schiff. They Orange Man bad, and you ask them, well, what has Trump done wrong? Well, look at him. Okay,
Okay.
by looking at him,
He's
I mean,
bald.
yeah, he's
He's
horrible.
old.
Yeah,
What else?
he's a lecherous old man, and I hate him. Okay, and that's really is all that they have. They can't prove anything. Other people who are equally intelligent will say, "Well, I really think there was validity to the Steele dossier,
Mm,
and the FISA warrant was legit." Really? I mean, after it's been proved in no uncertain terms that there was malfeasance on the part of the FBI and on the part of Steele
yeah.
to procure that FISA warrant, and that the FISA warrant didn't even come up with anything, even though it was illegitimately produced in the first place. Trump has
Yeah.
been a victim of so much illegitimate bullshit that he ought to get a walk just on the basis of that. In fact, if it was a Democrat, they would insist on that.
Could he get away? Like, could he sue for defamation?
Well, you can sue for defamation. The problem with defamation is that he's a public figure, and in
Yeah.
the United States, we let you defame public figures. We say if you're a public figure, that's anybody can say anything they want because we prize the freedom of speech so high that right pretty much overrules any right to not being defamed that a public figure has. Once you by becoming a public figure, you lose that protection of defamation, basically.
Right.
So probably not. I mean, you can sue for anything. Yes, you can sue. Would you win a suit like that? No, you would not.
That's unfortunate because there's been so much defamatory vitriol
Yes.
spewed at Trump for no reason
No.
other than the fact that he is
Orange man
Trump.
bad. Yeah. Orange man bad. That's what this is all about. Cynical Lindsay made the comment that the Dems just cost themselves control over both legislative branch, and
Yeah.
possibly the executive branch for years to come. That's the only good I see coming out of this impeachment crap. I hope you're right. I don't know that it has changed that many people's point of view about this, but you could be right. The problem is people have been treating our political system like sports. If people stop treating it as such, we'd have better candidates in office. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's
No,
my
you're
team
not.
versus your team.
Yeah.
Uh, that that kind of stuff. And Gunny agrees with me that that Trump could sue, but it wouldn't go anywhere. And I would agree with you, Gunny.
Yeah.
And so,
It
um,
and it's happening here too. It's in Canada. There are some people who are just so stubbornly I vote liberal
right
or I vote conservative. Like there are some things that the conservatives do that need questioning.
there, yeah, as long as human beings are imperfect, there will be things on both sides that need to be looked at. Things need to be examined with a clear moral perspective.
Yeah.
But that rarely happens. The exigencies of getting elected and getting money start to come in ahead of moral considerations, and people of initial good purpose become corrupt over time.
Real quick, Mr. Scotch over on the Streamlabs says for $10 says my card won't process on GoFundMe. Gosh darn it! What's better, authentic tacos or South West Tex-Mex tacos? Hmm.
I'm actually being as I probably have taco expertise that you may not have.
Yeah,
Um,
I've only had the westernized taco,
yeah,
so
I will tell you that both are great, and both are terrific. They are different. The Southwest treatment tends to have stuff like guacamole and lime
mm,
in it. The traditional tacos are beefier and have heavy cheese and tomato, and
mm.
both are delicious. Both are excellent, and both are worth having. So, very political answer, but as somebody who has eaten way too much of both, I like them both.
I freaking the fact that I live in Canada and can't get access to like
Decent
good
Mexican food.
Mexican food
Yeah, that's
makes me
killer.
very sad. You walk into a Mexican restaurant here, there are either white people serving it or there are East Indian people serving it.
Well,
It's really weird.
if they do the recipes right, who cares?
No, it's just funny. It's just
But there's nothing like
weird to
going
see that you walk into a Mexican restaurant and there is no Spanish people
right.
behind the counter
There's no
at all serving you the food.
and in Texas, quite the opposite is the truth. You walk into an authentic Mexican restaurant. I'm not talking about Taco Bell.
No, 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 no.
That's not even close. But into a true Mexican restaurant. I mean, even if it's a chain like Tia's or somebody, uh, you, it's 100% Hispanic.
Mm.
100%. You just never see a white person on the other side of the counter.
Lindsay
Part
says
wait staff.
Lindsay says I thought the authentic taco was a soft shell taco with meat, cilantro, and onion. Could be from a certain
Yeah, it depends on they're literally tacos vary by which state. Mexico is divided up into
yeah.
states, not provinces, but by which state they come from. So something from Monterey would be like what you're talking about, a soft taco with meat, cilantro, and onions. Uh, Something from Chihuahua, it would tend to they grow a lot of avocados down there, so you're going to
Mm,
get the guacamole down there. I mean, there is authentic Mexican tacos that have guacamole in them. They just
yeah.
tend to come from a particular part of Mexico, so they kind of come from all over. And then everything has gone into the mix master of the United States and gotten popularized as this type of taco or that kind of type of taco, according to some marketing outfit that thinks this branding sounds good, and you know, uh,
Cilantro is genocide, says Pincalo.
cilantro is genocide.
I
What?
hate cilantro.
You hate cilantro?
I don't like the taste of cilantro.
Interesting. I like it in moderation, but the thing about cilantro is it's kind of like oregano; it can kill a dish.
Mm. If yeah, it can be very overpowering. Apparently, we're supposed to be checking our Discord for a weird news story, but my Discord is still buggered.
Let me check. Hang on.
Apparently, it's in DMs.
I'll look. Um, I don't have anything recent for.
Duck Dog says cilantro is fucking disgusting. It's from Gunny.
Oh, it's from Gunny. Hang on. Um, Man whose deadly farts can kill mosquitoes hired to create. No, no, no.
That's a legitimate article. I saw something about that like
Wait a minute.
yeah 2 days ago, and I thought that was a fake. I thought that was.
Deadly farts can kill mosquitoes hired to create mosquito repellent made from his intestinal gas. A man whose farts
Um.
kills mosquitoes claims to have been signed up by insect repellent companies probing the secret of his killer gas. Joe, unpronounceable, from Kampala, Uganda, says boffins have launched a study into the chemical properties of his unique trouser toxin. The odd job man says no one in his home village has ever contracted malaria because his powers knock out insects over a 6 mile radius.
What does he eat?
The bullshit meter is awake and the needle is heading toward the red. If true, and that's a big if, that would make his fallout zone larger than that of the atomic bomb which destroyed Hiroshima in 1945. Local barber James Unpronounceable said he is known all over the city as the man who can kill mosquitoes with his farts. When Joe is around, we know that all mosquitoes will vanish. He is respectful of people around him and will only fart when there are mosquitoes around. His farts get rid of this disease. Ah, I see. A local chief who knew Joe when he was growing up as a child said he took him to live with him during the malaria season and claimed no one nearby caught the disease. The chief said, I heard about Joe's gift and I took him in to help mop out the mosquitoes infesting our surroundings. He respectfully drops these bloomers and it helped eradicate the insects. He does his thing and they drop like flies. Joe said, I eat ordinary food, just like everyone else, but no insect can lay a foot on me, not even a fly. I smell like a normal man and I bathe daily, and my farts are just like everyone else. They're just only dangerous to small insects, especially mosquitoes. Joe dreams of marketing his gas. I think we're getting to the point here. Joe dreams of marketing his gas and adding, imagine buying a Raid can with my face on it. Claims that Joe's wind has evolved to combat malaria emerged online yesterday, but the two companies linked to him were not identified and the claims could not be verified. This is just silly clickbait, but it's kind of fun. I don't believe a word of it. I think the Sun is having a little bit of fun.
I think so too.
Trolling the readers. And but I love the Gone with the Wind. They just pretty funny little puns with that, and that's fine. Enjoy.
That's amusing.
It's fun. It's fun to laugh every once in a while. Now,
Polydub, hello.
Polydub, how you doing, bud? Let's see if we can find what Prospero. He must have posted it up on your thing in news for the CoffeeStream. And let me just go down to here. All right. With Netanyahu's fate in question, Israel poised for new election.
Another new election?
Jada Pinkett Smith furious after Child Protected Services investigates blah 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 that showed up at her door. Okay.
Why? Because she's letting. Oh, that's weird. Why did they show up at her door? I wonder.
I'm not. Let's see. UK political leaders undecided on eve of vote. No.
I've got some stories pulled up.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of stories here. I'm just trying to find the one that Pinkalo said he posted here.
Ah.
Um,
Did you send it to Twitter, Pinkalo, or did you send it to Discord?
he said he sent it to Discord DMs, but I didn't get a DM from him. And if yours isn't working, then unless he posted it in News the CoffeeStream and it's way upstream somewhere, all I'm seeing is legitimate type of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see.
We don't see it.
I love that the Democrats are saying, if Trump is reelected in 2020, the first thing we're going to do is impeach him.
Oh, I think Pinkalo said, what did he say? He said, Vox. Not me. So Vox posted an article somewhere.
Oh, okay. What?
Or Vox, or I think he said, yeah, Vox. There was an article on Vox, I guess. But I've got a couple of stories that between actually Costin sent one
Okay.
to Pinkalo and I.
And what it's about?
So this is from the CTV, and apparently they are talking about getting rid of the nickel because they've gotten rid of the penny up here. I don't know if they've done that down in the States.
No. We're not that smart. We're just not that smart.
We got rid of the penny, I think it's 7 years ago now.
Let's see. Canada. Okay. Interesting. So Canada is getting rid of the nickel within 5 years.
So the Royal Canadian. So this is published yesterday, but let's see here. It says when the Royal.
Is this the CBC article or?
This is a CTV article. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it says when the Royal Canadian Mint yanked the penny from circulation in 2013, the nickel became the country's smallest circulating denomination of pocket change. Which is true. And they started rounding everything up to it's either 90, they rounded everything to the nearest 5 now. So you don't usually, so you just pay $1. If something is 99 cents, you don't pay 99 cents. You round up to the nearest or you round down to the nearest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So it says there were regional differences, however. Residents in Saskatchewan and Manitoba seemed to favor the 5-cent coin's existence the most, with 63% of respondents in those provinces rejecting the idea that it should be removed. Well, why would you even ask? Like Pinkalo, because Costin asked our opinion of this on Twitter. And Pinkalo said something very interesting. He said it's a great way of hiding inflation if they were to get rid of the nickel. And he's not wrong.
Wait a minute. If you hide inflation, if you get rid of the nickel, what are you doing? You are literally decreasing M1B, or the money supply, basically.
Right.
So if you're doing that, then you are reducing by actually getting rid of it. If you literally take that nickel and destroy it so that it can't be spent, render it unspendable, you're decreasing the money supply. So seem to have the effect of decreasing inflation, because inflation is defined as too much money chasing too few goods and services. So by decreasing the money supply, you would seem to decrease inflation. I think what Pincalo was saying is that it only seems like that because you're not really reducing the value of money. I would push back a little bit and say that you are actually decreasing the money supply unless you uh, print enough money to stabilize the money supply against the value of all the nickels you destroy.
Well, he's saying he says in chat rounding up to the nearest 10 cents. Yeah, that would be what would happen.
Oh, he's talking about price increases.
Yeah.
Uh,
If
yeah, let's see. Let me think about that. Uh, I think he's not accounting for the fact that there would be some demand consequences. And what he's saying is that the demand consequence would not equal the price increase consequence. And he might be right. In which case, yeah, that would be hidden inflation.
and he's
Kind of
saying
saying, but it seems like a pretty minor effect.
he's saying they're also trying to eliminate physical currency.
Well, that's the long term goal is
Yeah.
cashless society. What do you think what do you think the largest denomination, the most number of bills, what denomination of bills in Canada you think it would be? You would
Fives.
be a one or a five, right? Do you know what the most number of bills that are printed and are in circulation are in Canada?
Huh.
$100 bills. Do you know why?
Why? What's
People
up?
are banking at home. People are hiding income in $100 bills. They're using it as a store of value. They literally are stuffing it in their mattress.
Right. So
That's what
Pink
happens
Pink
when you have punitive taxes like that,
Pinkalo's
underground economy. And the underground economy will be a cash economy. And that's one of the reasons the government wants to get rid of that is because when you become a cashless economy, you become an economy that can be completely accounted for, and you can trace every transaction.
right. Well, Pinkalo was saying like he was referring to what they do at the till right now because when you're because we don't have a penny, we round to the nearest nickel right now, right? But
I understand what he's saying.
yeah, so I don't think he meant price increase. I think that he was just talking about in that sense.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess they've polled people across Canada to see if they want the nickel to go away, and it looks like you know, in true Canadian fashion, nobody in any province can agree on anything. But I don't think we should. Um, I don't think we should get rid of the nickel. Honestly,
And your reason for that is?
um, I think right now we should just leave things as they are. For like, I don't think we need to be mucking about with like there are bigger things that we need to worry about.
Like getting a decent prime minister.
Yeah,
I'd put that as like job one.
yeah. I think worrying about pocket change right now is the least of
Yeah, get rid of the tooth fairy,
yeah,
and get a proper prime minister, somebody who can actually lead your country.
yeah. I'm much more inclined to worry about something like that than whether or not I have pennies in my pocket. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
the only reason for getting rid of the nickel, uh, you know, the inflationary versus deflationary argument about getting rid of coins. I mean, this is something we used to discuss that kind of stuff in economics courses that I took, and it's kind of like angels dancing on a head of pin. It doesn't really have very much effect at all. People are going to find a way to pay for what they want to pay for. and if things actually increase in price, you will have a consequent decrease in demand according to how elastic demand for that item is.
Yeah.
And so, you know, those principles of economics don't change. So it doesn't really, there's not some massive good that's going to be done. But what it does is it cuts down on the expense of having to account for all those nickels, having to, you know, make, having to create nickels, having to deal with the counterfeit nickels. And yes, that is a thing, believe
Yep.
it or not. It is a huge thing. Um, and uh,
If it can be counterfeited, they'll do it.
oh, they absolutely will do it. And you can counterfeit coins. It's so easy. It's so easy to get the metallurgy right and to get the strike right.
Yeah.
With digitization, I mean, you can 3D print as many coins as you want to print. You know, uh, but the problem is that you know, to the uh, it, you have to print a lot of them. You have to
Yes.
do a lot of them, and people begin to wonder when you start turning in millions of dollars.
Where did you get all of these nickels? I found them.
Yeah, I found them. They were in my mother. They were in my grandmother's cedar chest.
That's why they're so shiny and new looking.
That's right, exactly. These are uncirculated. Yeah, yeah. They're all collector's items.
So did you see what Time magazine did?
Um, no, what has Time Magazine done?
So they've decided that Greta what's her face doesn't have enough ego.
Did they make her
So
person?
they made her person of the year.
They did not. They did not.
They did.
Are you kidding me?
I wish I wasn't.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yes, yes. So this wonderful article says Time magazine has chosen Greta Thunberg, a Swedish, not the Swedish, but just a Swedish climate activist,
Yes.
as person of the year. You know, just some person that nobody's heard of. A Swedish climate activist.
Oh my god.
Um
Oh my god.
So it says Thunberg, 16, is the youngest, of course, the youngest individual to be recognized. I love how they're using gender neutral language now.
Jeez.
Um.
The youngest creature.
So
She may
and
not identify as human.
that's true. That's very true. Um. So it says that she's the youngest individual to be recognized. She gained international attention for um for well, yelling at, well, it doesn't say yelling, but voiceover is being
But
stupid. So
she
it
she's joining people like Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin. And Stalin was chosen twice in 1939 and 1942.
was he really?
Nikita Khrushchev. I mean, you know, it goes on and on. There have been a lot of really infamous uh, people who have been. Ayatollah Khomeini was he was 1979's Man of the Year, and
Excoriating. That's the word that voiceover threw me with. She
excoriating.
gained an international attention for excoriating
Yep.
world leaders, because you know this article is paid by the word. So we gotta pull out the Scrabble game and come up with some words for their inaction in the climate crisis. In a viral speech she made at the UN Climate Action Summit in September, she criticized, yeah, that's all she did. She criticized world leaders again at the COP25 conference last week. Because, you know, her being 16, she knows so much about world leadership and politics and how everything should be run.
You can't criticize her. She's autistic.
Well, that's true.
Because aren't we all autistic at this point? Jesus. Unbelievable.
So it carries on. So I guess they've decided that she needs more worship. So it says Thunberg has become the biggest voice on the biggest issue facing the planet and the avatar of a generational shift in our culture that is playing out everywhere, from the campuses of Hong Kong to the halls of Congress in Washington. How dare you compare her bullshit reeing to what's going on in Hong Kong? Fuck off.
Another controversial choice in 1936 was Wallace Simpson. Her relationship with King Edward VIII led the king to abdicate his throne in order to marry her. And she was just a harridan, just a hatefully selfish woman who had a king in thrall. And she got selected. She was between Haile Selassie, the Emperor of Ethiopia, and Chiang Kai shek, the Premier of the Republic of China.
So Time Magazine just picks just wonderful people to
Oh, absolutely.
be people of the year. They just have a great track record.
Well, and the year after Chiang Kai shek was picked, that was the year that Hitler was picked. And Hitler was followed by Stalin,
Oh God.
followed by Winston Churchill, followed by Roosevelt, followed again by Stalin, then George Marshall, Dwight Eisenhower, Harry S. Truman, some pretty boring choices,
Yeah.
followed by Truman again, Churchill again, and in 1950 they chose the American Fighting Man, had a picture of a soldier on the cover.
Yeah.
They occasionally get it right, but
Check Your Logic says, as someone with Asperger's, I am very insulted that someone like her represents me now.
yeah, uh, um, she, I don't know, I just, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
So I've got two stories that are kind of related. I don't know if you heard me mention it last week, but Alex's school board went on a 1-day strike last week.
A 1 day
Because
strike?
yes, a 1-day strike.
Okay.
So they're doing it again. Some of the Ontario teachers, or the Ontario Secondary Teachers Union, or Ontario Secondary Schools Teachers Union, has organized a second 1-day strike this week. Not in Alex's. They're basically rolling the strikes, so they're picking different school boards across Ontario, and they're implementing these 1-day strikes. And then they're claiming that the government is forcing them to do this because they're claiming the government won't meet them at the negotiating table, which is not true. And Fury Kitten, that also doesn't happen here. If she says, if it's anything like over here, they have to make the time up if they strike. Nope, doesn't happen like that here.
It's just a beautiful thing of people coming together. And
when I was in third
right
grade, the teachers went on strike for almost 2 weeks. And we did not stay an extra 2 weeks at the end of the year, let me tell you.
What were they on strike for?
Back then, they were claiming. I can't remember the ins and outs of the strike. Back from then, I was 8. Um, they were talking about pay, wages, and
Okay.
class sizes, and they're this time they're talking about class sizes and the lack of wages for support staff like early childhood educators, special needs, like people who come and work with special needs kids in the school.
Yeah.
And basically, they're striking on behalf of these support staff. And their talk about class size increase, they're talking about a 2 student increase from like 25 students to 27 students, instead of like, not it's not anything, like it's not like they're telling teachers, okay, you must teach 36 kids now instead of 25,
Yeah.
right? It's ridiculous. So this article says, starts by saying high school teachers and educators or education workers represented by Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, OSSTF, at 9 public school boards are participating in a second 1-day strike as contract talks between their union and the provincial government remain stalled. As of midnight on Wednesday, OSSTF representative workers engaged in a full withdrawal of services at the following school boards, and that lists 9 school boards, one of them being the Toronto District School Board.
So ultimately,
Pardon?
ultimately, what can these people do? Can they just go on strike permanently until they get their way?
That's what that's what they keep doing. They keep saying, if we don't get our way, we're gonna keep doing these 1-day strikes.
And the 1-day strikes just end up, to me, the 1-day strikes just end up hurting the students.
They do, and for me, this says to me that the teachers are saying, do what we want, or your kids don't learn.
That's basically, yeah. That's because that is what they're saying. That is exactly what they're
And
saying.
the whole point of being a teacher is
To
to
teach children.
educate.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's in the name, right?
Yeah. So for a teacher to turn around and say, do what we want or we won't do our job, like we won't teach your kids, this is ridiculous. You're holding children, as Pincalo says, you're holding children's education hostage. Yeah, Pincalo, he says that's exactly what they said they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They admitted it a couple of days ago. And it's disgusting.
Yes, it is. That's pathetic.
And then we've got this next story, which is related to the one I just read, which
Which
is
is,
going to make you very angry, because
oh
I'm going to tell
yay,
you right now,
not
it
angry enough.
it it makes this article makes out special needs students to be basically no better than rabid zoo animals. And this is from the point of view of a
What?
special needs worker.
What? What?
So this article is titled "Educational Support Staff Are the Forgotten Warriors in the Labor Dispute." Because when you're educating special needs kids, you're going to war, right?
Well,
That's
sure,
that's
sure,
definitely the way to look at it.
sure.
So this starts off by saying they are the unsung heroes in the classroom. but they're being left out of the headlines. Educational assistants, childhood educators, and various other support staff are on the picket lines too. They are standing alongside teachers, but they are fighting their own battles and for their own students. And there is a number that I do not recognize, so I am not answering it. They are standing alongside teachers, but they are fighting their own battles and for their own students in this labor dispute with the Doug Ford government. Ford man bad. It just so happens that we are bargaining at the same time, but bargaining is happening at two separate tables, said Troy Simpkins, president of Educational Support Staff Professionals District, for representing 280 staff. So these next words are going to come from the president of these special needs staffers.
Okay.
Okay. So Troy Simpkins tells this author, support staff, he said, are fighting for students who need extra help and additional supports. Okay, fine. They're fighting for the most vulnerable and dangerous. I had to read that 3 different times to make sure I wasn't mishearing voiceover.
Dangerous?
Vulnerable and dangerous students, and they are fighting for those who often fall through the cracks. It carries on to say, provincially, I can speak, I promise. All of the coverage is up to the teachers, or is about the teachers, so the coverage meaning the media. Simpkins says, I've also heard support staff I've also heard support staff is only out on strike because of the teachers, but that is the furthest thing from the truth. You hear over and over again that the Minister of Education, Stephen Lecce, say the average wage for educators is $94,000. Yes, that's for teachers, but for my support staff, it's more for like $33,000. Okay.
Well,
So he says, do I think my members deserve a 2% cost of living wage increase? Absolutely, I do. Otherwise, it's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face to do your job and do what you're specialized in.
Wow.
It gets worse. It gets worse. Simpkins told the Nugget Monday, a typical day for many of his members requires body armor, including Kevlar sleeves, spit guards, and shin guards. If you are dealing with special needs kids that are that violent, they need to be in a special school.
No kidding.
It is not any help to them or to any other student for them to be in a public school. No matter how much you're paid as a fucking support staffer.
He said staff are currently off with concussions caused by students and other injuries, and members have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Of course they have. We work with some students who are extremely hard to serve, and I've said over and over again, this is not the time to cut, but the time to invest, Simpkins says. In other words, I want more money. He said the situation in the classroom is worsening. Some of the things we're seeing are new and are happening at a younger age. Verbal abuse happens on a daily basis in some of our kindergarten classes, and staff are beat up consistently. We had one principal and 2 of my members off work because of this one student. The student remains at school. I'm just reading the copy that you have on screen there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that there are occasionally violent kids. My sister has been in special education for she had a 40-year career in it, And she was the lady in Boston who they sent the worst of the worst, the ones who, carried a knife to work and cut open a teacher. Those
Yeah.
were the ones they sent to Susan. And she had to deal with a lot of those. And there are children like that,
Absolutely.
but the way that's handled, at least in the United States, is those are pipelined up into an environment where mental health uh, resources are much more accessible, and the staff there is trained to deal with that sort of person. Susan got bit a couple of times, and she got scratched with a knife one time
Right.
in her 40 years, because she was careful and because she was a professional. She knew how to handle
Yeah.
these kids. And I guarantee you, those children in Boston come from Southie Boston,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pretty rough kids sometimes. They're just as tough as, any Canadian truants.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's function. There are ways to handle that. And this
It
guy
sounds
is
like
just
this
making,
guy's
yeah, he's just making a case for, I want more money.
well, and it sounds like he's describing severely nonverbal
Yeah.
kids. Like
Yes.
kids like that. There are schools for kids like that in
Yeah.
Canada. It's not like we don't have them.
Basically babysitting exercises mostly, but
It's not.
it's a place for them to be safe anyway.
It's a place for them to be safe. It's a place for, like, there are, like, if there are places um that help with, therapies for those that are nonverbal. They should not be in public school.
But here's the thing: if a child is moved to cut a teacher with a knife, does that teacher really have the right to say no to that child? Don't we say no to children way too often?
I wish.
Shouldn't we let the children cut the teachers with the knives?
I wish we said no to children.
I mean, Greta Thunberg would say, "How dare you?" Say no to that child. The child just wants to express itself by cutting the teacher with the knife. How dare you? How dare you say no?
But for this guy, like the president of a support staff union, to be describing his students like that,
Yes, it's appalling. I just it's nakedly greedy.
it is.
There's something just hateful about it to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old school, but uh man,
It's
loser.
it's when I read that this morning, I was like, "What in the fuck, dude?"
Yeah, really. No, just, seriously.
So
So
I think
anyway,
we, I think we need something to laugh at.
well, we could. Why not laugh at the Pope?
How about we can laugh at the Pope, or we can laugh at a Fight Club for women, a
A
Fight
fight.
Club movie for women,
All right, let's laugh at the Fight Club movie for women.
because apparently there's an all-female Fight Club movie being made. Because we really needed that. Um. So this was written yesterday. It
Is it
says, to all the college boys who insisted that we watch Fight Club, this one is probably not for you.
Bella Thorne has joined Chick Fight, a new film about an all-woman fight club, and she's about to give Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden a run for his money. The new action comedy, let that sink in for a minute, is produced by Malin Ackerman, who also stars in the upcoming indie. Ackerman plays Anna, a woman grieving the loss of her mom while also dealing with some other major changes in her life, according to Deadline. Her dad just came out as gay, and the frazzled Anna had just burned down her coffee shop, leaving her sans propose, which without purpose.
Ugh.
Lost and confused, lost and confused. Anna finds solace in an unlikely source, an all woman underground fight club, where Thorne's Olivia is the toughest fighter in the gang. Also in the cast is Alec Baldwin, of course, inevitably,
Of course.
plays Anna's quote reclusive trainer end quote. The film is slated to start filming this year.
Wait, why does an all-woman fight club need a male trainer?
Well, they're just because you got to have that male female tension. Though the film bears strong similarity to 1999's Fight Club in premise, it also sounds like it could be a millennial version of The Karate Kid or even a hopefully far less depressing $1 million baby. It's been a minute since we've seen a good training montage, especially centered around a woman. So let's hope that Ackerman puts on a good show in the ring and that Thorin's ultimate fighter is as impressive as her character description proclaims her to be. The
Except,
quote eclectic cast of characters, Deadline states Anna will meet, could make this movie the next GLOW.
wow.
Yeah,
First of all, none of that has anything close to do to the premise of Fight Club.
I was just going to say that's not the Fight Club that I think
Has any, have these people watched or read Fight Club?
exactly. And here though the fighting is real and like really brutal.
Yeah.
Uh, Ackerman shared her excitement for the new project on Instagram. So very excited to have these two talents join our little movie. The actress wrote of the indie film, "It's going to be a blast," quote unquote. And Alec Baldwin and Bella Thorne have, of course, tweeted and released the usual, self-serving. Uh, Jesus, who the I care not. I cannot tell you how little I care about this.
Yeah.
And Fight Club was brilliant in its
It
way.
was.
It and it was a ground. Having a female remake of Fight Club, even if it was that, even if it was successfully was that, that wouldn't be that interesting. The
No.
interesting thing about Fight Club was how original the premise was.
When because I didn't even get Fight Club until I saw it with described video. And then I went, holy shit, he has multiple personalities.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the thing that you uh,
Like
there's a
I
lot of
didn't
visual,
it took
there's
me
a lot of visual,
15 years to realize that the whole thing about Fight Club was split personalities.
right? Exactly.
And this says nothing about like, ooh, some chick lost her mom and her daddy's gay, so she torched her own business.
Yeah, and that's
And
starting.
now she's angry.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's probably pretty close to the actual abstract that they presented for to try and get money. Oh my
Oh
god!
god, that's just sad.
And of course Alec Baldwin plopping down his ego into this. That this should be a clusterfuck of epic proportion. So there you go.
Fury Kitten says, I think we need an all female rollerball.
Well, that was the thing about roller derby, which is sort of where rollerball came from, was all female back in the day. I used to watch roller derby on TV. Man, that was great fun back in the 1960s, mid
Mm,
60s. Sit there and watch roller derby by the hour.
yeah.
But
Yeah, that's. I have a friend of the family is a huge roller derby player. She's big into it. I've never understood roller derby.
well, are you ready to just get a little bit more pissed off at the Catholic Church than you already were?
Okay.
The Vatican uses donation for the poor to plug its budget deficit. This is from the Wall Street Journal.
Because that's what that was for.
Exactly. Oh shit! I just realized I'm up against a paywall here. That's a
Oh
shame.
no.
Every year, Catholics around the world donate tens of millions of dollars to the Pope. Bishops exhort the faithful to support the weak and suffering through the Pope's main charitable appeal called Peter's Peace. What the church doesn't advertise is that most of the collection, worth more than $50 million annually, goes toward plugging the hole in the Vatican's own administrative budget, while as little as 10% is spent on charitable works, according to people familiar with the funds.
Wow.
That's essentially the whole story, anyway.
So
In the
$5 million gets spent globally
right out of
on the
50
poor out of $50
45
million.
million 45 million goes to running the Vatican, to paying all the people in the Vatican, and keeping the Pope in
In the
absolute
Pope Mobile.
luxury. Yeah.
You got to keep that Pope Mobile nice and shiny.
You know, there's a verse in the Bible that says it would be easier to get a camel through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. If the Pope isn't rich, I don't know what he is. I don't know what you call that.
I don't know either. I call that robbery.
Dante Alighieri, when he wrote the Inferno, said that there were seven popes in hell.
Mm.
I think it might actually be close to all of them.
Yeah, maybe a lot of them have the same name.
Yep.
So maybe they amalgamate when they go down to hell.
Yeah, it's just got to become one collective
All
person.
of the Francises over
Yeah.
here.
John's over here.
All of the Johns. You get to be one person. All of the Peters over here. There are a few Pope Innocents. You guys stand over here. You're going to be one guy.
That it just, it boggles the mind. It's become.
And the one Nazi guy, Joe Ratzinger, gets to stand all by himself.
Uh, I don't even, Joey the Rat. I don't even know what to say about that. Jesus put his hands on Peter's shoulders and said, "Go and build me a church. Upon this rock shall I build my church. Build me the church." I don't think that this is what Peter had in mind. I think if Peter saw the finery around the Pope as the head of the church, he would be absolutely appalled.
I think if Jesus knew, like, if there was any truth to the stories, and Jesus was as powerful as he was storied to be, I think he would be hard put to practice what he preached when it came to the turn the other cheek.
Oh yeah.
When it came to this shit,
I think he'd turn their other cheek.
I think he'd be like, that is not what I meant, you fucks.
That's right. He would be. It would be like the thing that got him in such trouble, where he actually got crucified. The thing that got Jesus into the the one thing that he did that could not be forgiven was when he went into the temple and started overturning the tables of the money changers.
Yeah.
They said, okay, that's not going to fly. This guy has got to go. And troublemaker is one thing, but this is bad for business. You're toast. And I think he would do exactly the same thing. I think the place would be in flames, though. I think he would bring down heavenly fire.
Yeah.
If all that stuff was real, which I don't know. There's a lot of origin stories of the earth it has to compete with. So
some of the origin stories are really interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the turtle.
The turtle with the four elephants on top of his back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one. Personally, the one that I personally go with that I believe was the one that was written by J.R.R. Tolkien. That Iluvatar, created the Maiar and the Ishtari, and one of whom was Gandalf, and woke the elves up. And I also believe in elves and dwarves and stuff, and just think they're real quiet. That's all.
Pink Hollow, he goes, wait, I thought the real reason Jesus wasn't liked was because he was the child of immigrants.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, according to that one church in whatever the hell state that was with the nativity scene.
How dare you?
Ugh.
That's my new favorite expression.
Yeah, I like that one.
How dare you? It's so pretentious. It's so condescending. And it's hateful and condescending at the same time.
Yeah.
There's beauty in that kind of economy.
So there's a cool little astronomy article for us to finish off the show
Yeah.
with.
What's up?
So this says astronomers discover a giant planet orbiting a dead white dwarf star. So that's kind of cool. So it says, until now, there has never been evidence of a planet that has survived a star's transition to a white dwarf. Astronomers from the University um, of Warwick's Department of Physics and the Millennium Nucleus for Planet Formation, MPF, at the University of
Valparaiso.
Valparaiso, thank you, have recently presented fresh evidence of a giant planet orbiting a white dwarf star. The planet is found in the form of a disk of gas formed from its evaporating atmosphere. The Neptune like planet orbits a star a quarter of its size about once every 10 days, leaving a comet like tail of gas comprised of hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur in its wake. Huh.
It's got to smell great.
Oh, yeah. The astronomers identified the star dubbed
Unpronounceable.
W. Wait.
Yeah, forget about it.
A whole bunch of letters and numbers.
Letters and numbers. Yeah. Go ahead.
In a survey of 10,000 white dwarfs observed by the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, they analyzed several variations in the light.
Subtle variation.
Or subtle variations in the light to identify the elements present around the star. The data revealed very limited hydrogen. The data revealed
very minute hydrogen spikes.
Minute hydrogen spikes, which was unusual. Not only hydrogen, but they also detected spikes of oxygen and sulfur, which had never seen before. This is really cool.
And then they used the Large Telescope of the European Southern Observatory in Chile. That thing that's down there in the what is it? The Atacama Desert.
I think
so. Dry and very clear air. They obtained more details of the star and found that the shape of the hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur features are typical indicators of a ring of gas. And lead author Dr. Boris, impossible to pronounce, from the University of Warwick said, "Hey, first we thought..." No, I'm just kidding. First we thought this was a binary star with an accretion disk formed from mass flowing between the two stars. However, our observations show that it is a single white dwarf with a disk around it roughly 10 times the size of our sun. The disk is made solely of hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. Such a system has never been seen before, and it was immediately clear to me that this was a unique star. Averaging all the spectra, okay, meaning averaging all the elements that they can define out of the what they call spectral drop lines.
Right.
Scientists confirmed that the star, blah, 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 was accreting sulfur and oxygen from the disk. Analyzing the data, they were able to measure the composition of the disk. They concluded that it matches what scientists expect for the deeper layers of our own solar system's ice giants, Uranus and Neptune. Dr. Blah, blah, blah said, this star has a planet that we can't see directly, but because the star is so hot, it is evaporating the Earth, and we detect the atmosphere it is losing. There could be many cooler white dwarfs that have planets but lacking the high energy photons necessary to drive evaporation, so we wouldn't be able to find them by the same method. So basically, what you have is you have a planet that you can't see, but the white dwarf has enough high energy photons coming out of it that produces this streamer of gas coming out of off of the rapidly evaporating atmosphere of the gas giant that's circling the star.
Cool.
So, however, some of those planets might be detectable using the transit method once the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope goes in out in the sky. Of course, the transit method is when the planet passes in front of the star and decreases the apparent brightness.
Yeah.
And that's typically how they've discovered planets that are that far away. This discovery is major progress because over the past 2 decades, we had growing evidence that planetary systems survive into the white dwarf stage. We've seen a lot of asteroids, comets, and other small planetary objects hitting white dwarfs, and explaining these events require larger planet mass bodies further out. Having evidence for an actual planet that itself was scattered is an all important step. So
That's pretty cool.
that is really fascinating. To think about my the thing that I can't figure out is how did that. I mean, there's no way.
How did
There's
survive the star's death?
Yeah, you can't survive a planet no matter how big it is. It just doesn't matter. The temperatures, the forces are just too great. It's going to scatter that debris into nothing larger than a few microns. I mean, you're talking about sub below the size of interstellar dust. Uh, in terms of consistency, after a nova is done,
Yeah.
doesn't matter the size of the planet. Just doesn't matter. The forces are too large. And so you have to think that, is it possible this was a captured planet?
A captured planet, or could the debris have been so big
How, but
from the?
how did it aggregate into a planet?
That's true.
I mean, it, there are a lot of unanswered questions, and that's part of the fun of astronomy is the mystery out there.
Yeah.
We really don't know how the stuff happens. We observe these miracles out there, and for me, it just makes me want to get a spaceship and go check it out. I'd do it in a heartbeat if I could.
Yeah. So would I.
Yeah, I think we all would.
It would be really fun.
Absolutely. So anyway, well, folks, you've managed to successfully spend another hour and a half with Blind
Yes,
Press
you,
with me.
you have, and I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and I'm glad I could share the unboxing with everybody.
Congratulations on a beautiful dress.
Hmm.
Congratulations on a beautiful dress.
Oh, thank you. I'm very happy, and I
Yeah,
can't wait to go try it on. Honestly.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, and I'm still putting my feelers out there for a guest on Friday. So if you are interested in guesting or know somebody who is, please feel free to DM me at Blind Press on Twitter. Um, and tomorrow night, I think Skep and I will both be on Prospero's
I'll bet we will.
night on Minions. And then Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, we'll be doing the Star Trek stream. We'll be talking about Dax Orion's picks for Deep Space Nine, which are the House of Quark, Looking
Yeah.
for Parmac in All the Wrong Places, and Hard Time. And we will also be remembering Rene Aubergenois and his character Odo as well.
Yes.
So I hope everybody will come back tomorrow for another coffee stream. Until then, thank you all for watching and have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everybody.